Okay, is it going? Okay, game dev time. I increased the bitrate on OBS just a little bit. So hopefully... Shut up, phone. So hopefully there will be slightly fewer issues with YouTube complaining about the stream settings. Alright. Let's see if anyone wants to join for the curtain call or whatever this is going to be called. I should not, under any circumstances, be attempting this right now, but I'm going to try and see what happens if I plug this existing project into the GameMaker update. So this is half of it. This is one half of the thing I'm making, and the other half of the thing I'm making is in the separate configuration. Once it gets itself going. This is the other half of the thing I'm making. 2 games. That's never gone badly before, has it? Let's see. First thing that I need to do is GMS2 is nice enough to automatically back up your project, so that's one thing I'm not going to worry about. But let's see. I think so. Let's create the backup. This is most likely going to be a lot of code and not a lot of running games, and I hope nobody minds, but we'll see how this goes. It's probably not. I want to see how it goes anyway, though. Okay. This is going to take a minute because there is a lot of code in here that needs to be updated semi-automatically. Alright. The project has been successfully converted, it said. I will be the judge of that, I think. Let's see how good of a job the compatibility does. The absolute best thing that can happen here is I get error messages, and the worst thing is that just nothing happens and I don't know why, and I have to resort to print line debugging, which nobody ever wants to do. Or more probably I'll be using the actual debugger, because this is probably a job that's going to merit that. Okay. There are a lot of shaders that need to be compiled. I don't use all of those. I can probably... Okay. So there are some... Is instance of now a built-in function? Let's see. Is instance of now a built-in function? It is. Okay. Shut up, phone. First thing that I need to do will be to rename instance of to something else. Everything's better if you call it classic, right? Oh, you can filter your search as well, finally. I will be saving that. What is the new instance of function use? What arguments? This... Okay. It looks like that returns the name of... Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Hopefully, I will be able to just get rid of this entirely at some point in the future, but... Were there anything else the compiler was complaining about? A few things, I see. Okay, static is a keyword. As opposed to what I was doing with this and using it to denote something that just doesn't move. So I will be renaming that across the board. I feel like I'm going to need to do this in a few places. I'll deal with the formatting later. I'm actually surprised that static seems to be the only... Static and instance of seems to be the only cases of... Alright, that got rid of all the syntax errors. That seems to be the only cases of keywords suddenly conflicting with my variable names. I was kind of assuming there would be more. I've gotten off the... Okay, so there is... There are a number of... I'm just going to give that the same treatment. Instance variables named static. It is case sensitive. Interesting. All right, I'll deal with that. Wait, no, that might not have been a... The search was case sensitive. The keyword probably isn't. Is that all? That may be all. Really? I'm suddenly way zoomed out here. That's better. Go down there. Oh, that's not an instance variable. That was just a local one. I think. It should be a local one. An instance one, rather. Alright, that should take care of that problem. Let's see what happens if I run the thing now. Okay, so there are more issues with keywords. So they're just not all popping up at once. I see that's now a keyword. Oh no, that's a built-in function that kind of does functional programming on the new struct system. Kind of. Duplicate script name found. What? Is that because it's alias to... Hang on, I'll look at that in a minute. Let me just refresh the duplicate sprite name found, script name found, sorry. That is... Do I use that anywhere? I think I use the UK spelling to make it consistent with other things. That shouldn't be duplicate. Oh, it is, huh? Interesting. I'm gonna have to update Scribble at some point anyway, though. Where is the error in this line? Line 112, assignment operator expected. This looks like valid code. I'm not sure what's wrong with that line. If I deal with the other errors first, I doubt it, but... Alright, that didn't... Interesting. It no longer likes... It no longer likes that. It no longer likes those to stand alone. Am I going to see... I'm going to see a number of errors related to that. I'm going to have to update Scribble anyway to work better with 2.3, but... I just want to get it running to begin with. Oops. No, help, stop. Malformed assignment. Alright, let's refresh the list of compiler errors. This is something that may take a little while. Phone! It compiled. Okay, that is... Let me read that. The increment operator has changed slightly, Nocturne. Also, hello, Nocturne. I feel like I'm slightly out of my league with people the likes of Nocturne Games and 8-Bit Warrior in the chat. Oh god. Now I've got to actually figure out what I'm doing. This is something with... Okay, so the Snyder's 3D particle system is broken-ish. Although I don't know... This is an old error. I feel like that should have been causing problems a long time ago. You need to explicitly separate stuff using parentheses. Interesting. I can see that screwing me over in a number of places, actually. Here it is. What was it complaining about specifically? It's just not defined. Are global variables officially dead? Is that why this is? Or has this is being defined with with a one of those pragma things. Has the behavior of that changed? If I just call this from somewhere manually, I don't need that. Or maybe I do. They should still work. The mystery deepens. Assuming it gives me the same error as before, which it probably will. That's a lot of errors. Warnings. Can I read those? Okay, that's the same thing as before. Okay. It may be safer to remove SMF and re-add it later. I don't think those warnings were there before. And then in any case, this didn't fix the problem. Scripts are now compiled before the rest of the project, so you can just add all of those things to a script. Oh, so that's what happens if you add code to a script file without a function call. Let me try that. So this would this would leave, oops. And there's no other code in there. Those are all constants of various types. In that case, pragma isn't really needed anymore, is what I'm getting out of that. Okay. I'll fix the indentation on that later. Okay, oops, no, hey, stop backslashes. Thank you for letting me know, Nocturne. And that's the rest of them. Probably gonna have to do that in a couple places. If I search for if I search my code for that, preferably spelled correctly. Okay, so that's actually mostly inline. All right, okay, so I am apparently trying to convert something to an int64. Let's see. This can go. I'm definitely looking forward to getting rid of these. And, okay. Hey! Oh, I was gonna say, did de-indenting white space suddenly work properly, but apparently not. Okay, never mind. What was that last error? Line 18. That's not line 18. Interesting. That's like the entire point of using DS maps. I don't imagine that's a problem with chained accessors because that's an accessor being used as an accessor. I don't think, right? Also, is name suddenly a keyword? No? Oh, okay, that was a coloration error. If nested DS map lookups are going to suddenly be a problem, that will make a lot of things interesting, to say the least. I hope that is not a permanent change. Not least of all because it's going to take a long time to get used to. Same issue, different location. That was farther down. That was like line 150 something. Okay. That's just a vertex buffer. That reads a series of vertex buffers out of a file. I'm interested to know why name is highlighted in green, like it's a built-in variable until... Is that a built-in variable for a struct or something? It's nice that it's letting me do it anyway. Yeah, after this, I will... Actually, I'll write... Where's paper? I will try and isolate the problem in something that's less bonkers, stupid, messy than this. Hey! Okay, I wasn't expecting it to be that fast. It's probably gonna break the instant I do anything, but... I mean, cutscene events work. I got to the battle screen. Wow! Okay, so that is the depth buffer. That is, I don't think, anything related to the update. Shut up, phone. Okay, I think that was a problem with the battles being broken rather than new GameMaker. Wow. I was expecting to sit here for 4 hours and not go anywhere but learn some things about how the update worked. I wasn't actually expecting to get to gameplay. But yes, I wrote down a note, so I will investigate the nested data structure thing later. All right, my brain is officially fried after that. Let me... The fact that it forces you to do a save as when you open an old project makes source control interesting, but I can manually copy the .git folder and make a new branch, right? That's not it. That's it. If I can dereference the repository and re-add it. I definitely don't want to move it to the recycle bin, but... This is gonna make source control fun. Committing the updated project structure, basically every single file in the repository is gonna suddenly make it take like 10 minutes, isn't it? Bring my changes over. Holy crap, though, Yo-Yo. That was a lot less painful than I thought it was going to be. All right, while this is spinning, I'm going to get up and do something for like 30 seconds. I'll be back. I have returned with a full glass of water, and it is still in the process of switching branch. Cool. Yeah, I was expecting this to be a bug fiesta, but it's actually it's running. That only how long did that take? That took less than a half an hour to get that running. That's impressive. You guys did a good job with the GMS 1 to 2 compatibility features, and it looks like you did the same thing again. Pulled the same magic again. Seriously, how long is this going to be? That's going to be the stream. Is watching GitHub Desktop switch branch for an hour. Okay. It's safe to keep working while it does this, right? I don't actually want to sit here for a prolonged period of time. First order of business, though. I've got a lot of math scripts. And I've been looking forward to consolidating these for a good solid year. Math-ish. Still going. There aren't namespaces, right? I can't name something like math.bitwise or whatever. Can I make the that should make it a little easier to read on stream. Okay. Actually, you know what? I will. I guess I can do the old prefix with fake namespaces with underscores thing, but ancient bad bitwise. GitHub? You were supposed to leave those there. Unless that happened because I was messing with it at the same time as... Okay, I don't have... Yeah, I was playing with that earlier. I'm thinking like... What are they called in other languages? Like packages, namespaces? I was thinking like that. Okay, so everything is still here, I think. Some script out inner script. I have confirmed earlier that you can do that with I guess you could make a struct as a namespace, come to think of it, Steven. That's actually a good idea. Alright, you know what? I'm stupid and I didn't think of that. Yes, that's a good idea. Probably. Although I'm going to have to refactor every single place in my code that uses that now. Alright, let me just make sure nothing actually got deleted when GitHub did the thing. And that it still runs, because that would be awkward. And there's a whole mass of warnings from SMF. Static methods. That, yes, brain, words, static methods. Okay, so it still works. Let's add a bunch of exclamation points there because this is exciting. Alright, that's going to take about an hour to commit, just like it took about an hour to switch branches. Where was I? Scripts, math. Also, someone on the Discord pointed out that these are now alphabetized by default, which I am extremely happy about. Took about 3 years for GameMaker Studio 2 to get that feature, but it's finally here and it's worth it. So with that said, I did it again. With that said, would it be a best practice to keep everything separate by just like having the multi-function scripts be like screaming capital letters so that I can tell them apart from other things, just in case? Probably, right? Oh, yeah, right. I can't reorder them because they're automatically ordered now. Where was I? It would go like that. You hate the alphabetization, do you actually? I guess in some cases, well, even then, it's like, if I want something to float to the top, I could do that. I don't know if I'm going to want to, but... Let's see. Also, I am curious. I'm not going to get this cleaned up in one stream, but I'm curious how many lines I'm going to be able to knock off by doing this. These scripts are like 5 years old before I actually knew how to use bitwise properly. And these are like compensation for not knowing how to use bitwise properly. Oh, how would the syntax go? It would be like this, right? Is it I was just looking at this a minute ago. Static. Okay, so it's static name equals function. And because I now insist on JavaScriptizing everything. Ooh. Yes, apparently. I haven't used one yet. This would be my first time using one, but I did see that in the write-up. Variadic functions. This is going to be a learning experience. How do you do variadic functions? Can I still use argument count? I can't remember if argument count works the same as it did before. I guess I'll find out. Ryangu. Names, pronunciation. Sorry in advance. Hello. Today we are learning about variadic functions. All right, you know what? This can be maximized because I keep accidentally scrolling it. Yes and yes. Argument count still works. Ryan go. Okay. I was like 10% of the way there. I don't know why I just pointed at my computer screen when I said that. Hey, I know about try catch. Is there throw? There is throw. So I can actually throw errors properly now. And it looks like it's just a string. So throw is the new show error, I guess. Oh, yes. There are classes in GML now. I got the biggest stupid smile on my face right now. Alright, you know, I'm just gonna get rid of that because I can't be bothered to deal with 64-bit ints or whatever. That I guess I can leave. Indentation's a little bit messy, but oh well. Alright, so that was like 50 lines of code down to 23. Hey, do begin and end work on these new functions? I assume they do. Do I want my code to look that stupid? Not especially. I won't do that. That joke is starting to get old and annoying. This is going to cause several issues in places where those old scripts were used, but I can't be bothered to search for all of them, so... Oh, you know what? I don't really need these prefixes anymore. Right, we can do that. Oh, those are runtime errors now, not compiler errors. Okay, I guess I'll have to actually search for them. No, definitely not rip old projects. This is a 40,000 line monstrosity that I was able to get updated to new GameMaker in like 25 minutes. Most certainly not rip old projects. And this isn't even the official release, this is the beta. What did I call it? I can't remember what I typed 2 seconds ago. I assume it would be like this. Save. GameMaker. I am too. I still don't know if it's going to be something I can actually just use without any major issues yet, but it's looking good so far. It's worth the wait, certainly. um... Let's ignore comments, because that is an actual word of the English language that I may want to use. Uh-oh. When you get forced to save on big projects. How so? Except for how long it's taking. Yeah, it's... I noticed that a few times earlier when I was messing with this, is that it would take a long time to save on occasion, but I haven't seen it crash. I won't be entirely surprised if it does. But, fingers crossed. I don't know why it's saying project directory modified though. I feel like this might be an error when you search and replace, and then it says project directory has been modified, presumably because it saved and then like didn't realize it saved or something. And it seems like after I click save, after that it runs through the whole project and saves the whole thing, which is why it takes so long. I guess while I'm at it, can write that down. Alright, I wrote that down to investigate after off stream as well, so if that's a bug, I will try and hunt it down. What was the last one? Okay. That one didn't take as long, I noticed. Maybe because there weren't as many instances of that one. Let's see. So that was a fairly minor change. Those weren't used in too many places. Unbitwise. Very funny. Okay, that is a mistake of... Yeah, I think that's what it's supposed to be. That was a mistake involving find and replace. I should have hit the whole word only button there, but oops. That also did some stuff in shaders. Not what I intended. Ryan, yes, to answer your question. Although they're not defined exactly like that, here's another instance of that. I should have hit the whole word only. I haven't dug into performance yet, but I don't imagine functions are going to lag the game. Some people who I've talked to who were in the closed beta at the beginning of the year they've said it's about comparable to old GameMaker. I don't know exactly. That was the one I just fixed. Okay, this is another one that I will need to update and just toss in here. What's this called? What's even the point of this? That's the exact same as... Is there a way to make the tree, the asset tree not filter when you search? There used to be an option for that. All right, well, whatever. I'm gonna ditch that. And okay, it looks like that wasn't even used anymore. That was a duplicate code, a duplicate script somewhere. Also, I haven't even actually looked at the performance of a malformed enum entry. Oh, very funny. In addition to whatever I wasn't doing before, I also should have probably case-sensitive search. What's wrong with that? Aside from the fact that this doesn't need to be in a function call. I really screwed that one up, didn't I? Not hitting the correct search settings. Let's see, there's a couple of these. Oops. I'm guessing there's going to be more somewhere, but searching is a bit of a pain. Although I can do this. Okay. Yes. Thinking ahead. What I can also do is just... This was... No. This is Juju's library. So... it shouldn't have been affected at all. So it should be safe. To just basically undo everything that I did by accident. Yeah, it happens. It warns you, and usually I stop to think about the warning for 2 seconds, but I got a little ahead of myself today, and that didn't exactly work out. Alright, it looks like that's it, at least for this one. There may be others somewhere else. I hope there aren't. I've spent as long trying to unscrew myself there as I did trying to get the thing to run at all after updating. Also, greetings, Stuzy. That looks so bad. That looks so bad. Okay. It may be a good idea for me to just nuke this and redo that, because all right, you know what I can do? I can look through the changes in GitHub Desktop and find, yeah, that shouldn't have been found and replaced either. Which one was it? That URL won't work. That is the scribble thing. That is the one that I added. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Probably most of the things that I added are going to be correct. Most of the places where other people's code libraries got screwed up may not be. Okay, so this one, that should be this anyway, I think. That looks good. These are all deleted. There are a lot of things that got changed here. That's awkward. You know, I'm sure this is going to appear in a bunch of places, so let's actually do case-sensitive search this time. All right, fixing a find and replace error with another find and replace, I think. It can't get any worse, right? I can't screw it up any worse, probably. I'm pretty sure the arguments were the same between the one that I actually did replace the whatever the old one was in the unpack thing. This is still, in this case, it's still highlighted like a variable. Unable to find. All right, that's different. That was a different error. So it looked like I should be able to use static things like this, right? Line 74. Also, you can see I've been planning ahead for this for quite a while. Going through my code and searching out all of these should be rather cathartic. So is this not the correct use of a static thing? Do I have to define them the other way if I want to use static? Maybe? I'm going to have GameMaker elders yelling at me for this, but let's see what happens if I define it the other way. Oh no, wait, not that. I want the one that's even worse. Because I need it to be accessible. It's not syntax highlighted like a global variable, which makes me slightly worried. I don't know how worried I should be. Also, I should probably look at those warnings. No, that didn't do it either. I should probably look at those warnings at some point and see what they actually say. Okay, maybe for the time being I should just... I shouldn't mess with the static methods. Maybe for the time being I should just make them functions, global functions. Hey Nabil, I remember you. Thank you for the stream. What do they call these things? Cheers? You're still doing your you're still working on your 3D project? I haven't seen you in ages. Hope it's going well. As far as I can tell, this should be okay though. Let me do this the normal way again. What happens if I print that out? Nocturne said that if you run code in a script file outside of a function, it's global. I don't know if you can actually print to the console during that stage or not. I'll find out now. Just finished university 2 days ago. Hey, going places. And you're diving back into GameMaker. Now as good as time as any. The update came out yesterday. Or the beta for the update came out yesterday anyway. Bitwise has an instance ID. That's an instance ID. Am I printing something else out? Printing something out elsewhere by accident, or are lightweight objects actually classes represented by instance IDs? Yeah, and the Bill, have you gotten into the GameMaker 2.3 beta yet? If you haven't looked into that, you should. It's very interesting. Okay, so that is indeed. All right, so static functions might just not be doing what I think they are, at least not right now. I will look up. I will make a note to investigate this later. I feel like static functions are something that will be working, and I just haven't figured out how to use it yet. But for the time being, you signed up like 2 hours after the article came out. Yes, I was doing the same, which was a little bit of a waste of time on my part because I believe the announcement went out at like 4:30 local time for Yo-Yo Games, and they let like one batch of people in, and then went home for the day. And then I got up in the morning and I saw that I'd let's see, I got up this morning and saw that I'd gotten in, so I assumed they did like one batch yesterday, broke for the day, and then came back and let a few more people in. Hope you get it soon, though. It is so far a lot of fun to play with. We will be doing this the old-fashioned way. At some point in the future, I'll probably revisit this and make it better, but What was that one? That should be safe, right? I learned my lesson the first time I did that. Let us see. Alright, there it goes. The indentation is annoying me. Let's see if this runs. I hope it does. I'd like to move on to other things. I did not expect this to take longer than getting the project to run after being imported in the first place. Okay. Moment of truth. Alright, good. What are my thoughts on the entity component root, given that we could now contemplate such things? I don't know too much about entity component systems. I've messed around with them a little. Like the lights in this game sort of use an entity component system, although it's kind of like half-assed and just as good as it needs to be and nothing more. Being able to do it much easier is an interesting prospect. I don't know if it's something that I'd ultimately do, but the possibility is kind of exciting. Might be a good excuse to learn more about it. Let's see. How many lines of code did that alone knock out? That is 42,810 was what it started at, and... Okay, so that knocked out 20 lines. There's plenty of other math to, There's plenty of other math, of course. Let us... Let's do that. And I've got a whole big old long list of... Yes, I do think so. Thank you for asking. Big old long list of easing curves. Actually, let me do them in order. This may take a minute to copy and paste in. There's like, what did it say? There's 23 of these, I think. I feel like I should have some kind of music playing in the background on the stream. I have not set anything up for that though. And I don't know offhand if I have anything that would get me in trouble with the intellectual property police if I just started playing it. I used to have a collection of OC remixes and stuff, but that has been scattered all over my computer now, and I did not think to put them all together into one place. Alright, we're getting down to the end here. That was in Quint. I don't know if anyone's actually ever going to use a quintic easing curve, but if you want it, it's there. Oops. Okay. 300, almost 400 lines of easing curves. Time to clean this up. I could try singing. No, I don't want to be charged for murder by singing. That's something that none of you need. Nabil, you mean ECS for collisions? Having used some amount of Unity, I kind of like their entity system. I know that it's not. I know that Unity's classic Unity anyway. I know they added a new thing recently. It's not really entity component system, but components in general. Like I mentioned before, each of the lights is a component, and you could just tack on lights to entities or whatever, and audio clips and stuff. But to do it the quote-unquote proper way is interesting, to say the least. Yeah, real refactoring hours. That's probably what most of the stream is going to be. Hence the text on the top of the... That is, yeah, the text on the top of the video. These all take the form of value 0, value 1, and the time value. Right? I almost said, okay, let's do this all manually, but I don't know if anyone wants to actually see that happen. Okay. I think that's good. We got rid of the arguments. Actually, should I leave these? I should probably leave the description comments at the top, right? These do not appear to be in any sort of alphabetical order. Oh, well. I was hoping they would have opened up in order, but... You have more experience in Unreal than Unity, and basically all the useful functionality takes the form of a component. I've messed with Unreal a little bit, not enough to know... to be able to picture offhand how their engine is put together. But if it's anything like Unity, all game objects would be just objects that have components slapped on. Is that how Unreal does it? I spent like a couple hours in Unreal a few years ago. I don't really remember too much about it. Cameras, yeah, any dynamic structure that you use with like surface create, data structure create, camera create, any of those could probably... Actually, that would be more of lightweight object structs than components. For components, yeah, camera specifically, I could see that. You could just slap a camera onto something and not have to go the long roundabout way that GameMaker traditionally would have you do. Are we almost there? I'm only like halfway down. How many lines of code is this down to? I've cut out 100 of just these parameter things, these named parameter things. And some of that was empty white space that GameMaker auto-generated that I don't really care about. Is it weird that this is like the main thing that I've been looking forward to in the last year? Because I can mimic structs using deactivated instances, although I believe classic GameMaker instances take slightly longer to instantiate and destroy than a lightweight object is supposed to. But I can make that work. But being able to just clean up the code like this, it's been a long time coming. One more. Okay, that's it. Allowing components to have a step draw and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's... If you were to use a game dev framework like Mono or GDX or something without a game engine, that's what would be exposed to you, right? And I believe that was like... This almost got cut down by half. Wow. They still have the same name, so I should be able to use them without having to rename anything anywhere. Let's see. I was in the middle of reading that and then got distracted. Painting broad strokes, that's it. The interesting part would be allowing components to have a step draw and so on. Yeah, what was I just responding to before I got distracted? I guess, for what it's worth, again, Unity, I don't really know too much off the top of my head about Unreal, but there are each script that you create and each of the built-in scripts. Okay, so this works. They do have their own their update methods that they can put behavior in. The programmer can put behavior in. Obviously, things like awake and create and whatever as well. And it seems like the animations are working, which is where the easings are used. That's cool. What's the line of code count down to? 42,724. So that was non-zero. I was expecting it to get cut down more, but that was non-zero. That was better than nothing. Let's see, what else? The data structures scripts are the big ones, because I've made a lot of data structure scripts. Are any of these even used? Can I just delete these? Do I even need these? That's not used outside of its definition. I feel like this might have been used a very long time ago. Those aren't used either. I can just delete those. This is my old instance of. Which I can simplify a little bit. Oh, you know what I can do is I can try catch this. Ooh, I can try catch this. I can use try catch. I don't need to do that error checking anymore. I don't know offhand where this is used. So I don't know if I'll just run it just to make sure it compiles with that issue. Where is that script used? Battle messages. Oh, map solidness. So I can just walk around and that script will run, and if it works, if it does what it used to do, then that means it works. All right, it runs, and I can collide with solid objects. Hello, Henry Plays. Okay, that works. You are a Scribble user. Cool. I'm glad. I like Scribble. I'm glad that other people are using it. I wasn't sure if anybody else would like care about Scribble when I made those, but people seem to be quite happy that Scribble is a thing that exists, and I'm glad. Some string functions. Is this one even used anywhere? That's not even used anywhere. I can just ditch that. That's another one that I've been carrying over for like 6 years throughout all my projects without really needing to. Have I played Undertale? I have not. Although I kind of feel like I know enough about Undertale via internet spoilers that it wouldn't really hit me as hard as if I didn't. What's the value built-in variable? Is that another? That's not documented either, at least not yet. Stuzy, you a Scribble user also? I'm glad. It's very useful. GameMaker's draw text isn't especially good or flexible or anything. And yes, the pretty much all text rendered in this project is using Scribble. Built-in draw text also isn't especially fast, unfortunately, which is another reason to avoid it if possible. I can do that, can't I? All right, you know what? That's not important. I won't risk breaking that. Again, I'm not entirely sure if you can use variable script arguments without let's see, it seems like there were some variables that I've seen, like name is highlighted as if it's a built-in variable, value is another one, but if I F1 them, they don't show up. I don't know if that's going to be impossible to search because that's going to appear in every page. I don't know if there's somewhere that, like, if they're hidden in here somewhere or if they just got glossed over. But what's an existing built-in? Like the old built-in variables are you can F1 them. I don't know. I might have run into some other ones before lunch. Value and name are the ones that are standing out to me now, though. Let's do this the proper way. The slightly more proper way, anyway. All right, I think that's good. Those are something like the struct variables for sequences. I did not look at those. Are those also not fully documented? There's a lot of new ones that won't come up with F1. Okay, is that by design or is that just like they haven't been added yet? I was looking through this earlier. Okay, so string functions work. Atomix. I am usually very bad at remembering when people update their internet names, but I will try to remember that. Atomix. Let's see, I can get rid of these. Might as well name that what it is. Feels weird to group string functions under math, but here we are. All right, I guess I'll dive into my data structures scripts now, cleaning these up. At the moment, it's by design, as I wasn't aware they were being color coded outside of sequence structs. Atomix. Okay, I was close. Still a work in progress. All right. Not altogether surprising. That's one of the more benign issues that can come up as far as, for example, overhauling the entire language goes. Atomix. Okay, so the emphasis is on the emphasis is on a different syllable. That's a lot. Okay, yes, deprecated functions. Array linked 1D. I'm a little surprised those weren't automatically migrated. Do I even LENGTH? Do I even use any of the 2D array functions? It might just be safe to... I don't think I use 2D arrays anywhere. Oh, I use 2D arrays in exactly one place. Except I don't, because that's not in use currently anywhere. Okay, good. I can get rid of that. I feel like I should probably alphabetize these a little bit. Hang on, you know what? Because there are so many of them. They are part of the struct for the sequence track. Okay, so those are name, type, position, and so on. Atomics. Okay, short A. As in, like, atomic theory. John Dalton, and I don't know why that's the only example of that pronunciation I can think of. That is a vertex buffer thing. They shouldn't be getting color coded outside of those particular structs. Good to know. As I said, it's one of the... I guess I might as well write that down as well. I'm going to need more paper because my handwriting is very big and messy right now. All right, hopefully I'll remember to think about those things later. It's okay, Atomics. I've mispronounced many things in spectacular ways over the years. I just hope to minimize the awkwardness. This is another vertex buffer thing. Is that the one I... Oh, that is a series of points. I can't wait to get rid of all those arguments. Is this used anywhere? I feel like this is probably not used anywhere. That's used in somewhere. This is a string function. The color coding thing might be, let's see. The color coding issue with certain variables might be interesting because pretty much every object in the game I have defined a variable called name for. And if that, for me personally, if every single instance of that gets syntax highlighted, it might not be a bad thing because it's kind of a special variable that every single game object has. But overall, I don't need to do anything else here. Overall, it's a... I guess not an intended behavior. The color coding thing. Worth it to upload your project to GitHub? Yes, definitely. You don't have to have them public. You can create private repositories, but it's cloud backup for code, essentially. Not even necessarily code, just the entire repository. So if you like go to a different computer somewhere and you can just clone down the repository and have all the change history and everything without needing to like manually copy it into Google Drive or something. I will deal with all the array length 1Ds in a minute. That's not a data structure thing. Why is that in the... I will worry about that later. Something worth bringing up. Yeah, I'm writing down. I'm gonna need more paper. I'm writing down all the issues and other annoyances that have come up. I will. This is a DS list thing. I will definitely try and put them somewhere actually useful when I'm done with this. That's an array. Upload speed. Ooh, that could cause a problem, yeah. If nothing else, I guess this is really just a temporary solution more than anything, but you can always upload overnight or something. Nocturne, you should see my desk. There are loose pieces of paper that have like a quarter of them filled in with notes all over the place, and I'm just like grabbing one and crossing off the old stuff and writing down the new stuff in like dark marker or something like that. I organize my code slightly better than my actual desk in real life. I think I just roasted myself. What is this? This is a priority queue. That is another priority queue. I may be able to restructure the way that particular function works later as well. Is that something else that was on the roadmap? Proper for each loops? That rings a bell for some reason. I don't think that was part of this update though. I think that was something further down the line. That'll be fun. I think that was I think that might have been lumped in with data structures as true types or something. Exciting times we live in. Oh, I just noticed this, and someone mentioned this to me earlier, but automatic code folding, you don't really need regions anymore, huh? I guess you can still use them, but they're automatic around curly braces now. That's handy. I just now thought of that. Imagine coding an in-game battle system. Yeah, it's fun. I've got a strange definition of fun. If assuming you mean turn-based, it's tends to be a lot of work though. Buffers. Jumps into a pool of water. Yeah, that's about what battle systems feel like a lot of the times. Turn-based anything. I should probably start utilizing more than one workspace right now. Pi! Hello, Pi. I wish I could get rid of that script, but there's one section of code that actually uses it, and I have not bothered to modernize it, and I probably might as well do that while I'm here. Okay, you know what? That can go into this workspace. That's gonna make streaming awkward because I can only share one monitor. It'll be over soon, seriously. Raise. More arrays. I also can't see chat like this. Arrays. I feel like there's a built-in function for that one, and I have not, and I should be using it. Arrays. Array contains. Array clone. I think that might be another built-in function that I'm not using, but never mind. I pasted that twice. Array clear 2D, which shouldn't be needed anymore. And array clear. Okay. Oh god, there's a lot of chat. Reading. Help. Hi guys. Thank you for dropping by. You tried making a bullet hell. Can I zoom in on this? My eyesight's not that great. Car making a 3D horror game. A noble ambition. Atomics tried making a bullet hell. Bullet hells are interesting. I've wanted to make one for a while, but one, I don't really play them, so I don't know too much about them. And two, I'm always doing other things. So some codes don't work with 2.3. I haven't found anything that outright doesn't work. I found some things that have changed slightly. I can't read Cyrillic, I'm sorry. Don't know how I'm supposed to say that. Some things have changed slightly. There was a minor issue with the prefix increment operator in some places, but I haven't found anything that outright doesn't work yet. An online turn-based thing. That's, ooh, okay, online and turn-based. That's ambitious. Yeah, try catch for multiplayer. Someone brought that up on the subreddit yesterday when this thing first came out. Trying to do networking involves a lot of, or in the past, involved a lot of messy if else, error handling in GameMaker, and try catches. The people who do online are fairly excited for that. Sequence is a feature for cutscene. Yes, and probably also other things that I'm not creative enough to think about. They're essentially, I don't have one here. Where's the test project I was doing before lunch? So sequences are essentially a timeline. If you've ever used Adobe Flash or After Effects or yes, GameMaker, I know. If you've ever used Adobe Flash or After Effects or a video editor or anything, it should look somewhat familiar. I believe Blender's animation timeline looks similar. I don't know how well you can see this, but this is a simple sequence animation I was testing out before lunch with just a box that moves diagonally across the screen. You can keyframe stuff if you wanted to. So those are sequences. You can imagine those being used for whatever you want. They can emit events at certain points in the sequence. They can have code run, that sort of thing. Yeah, After Effects. Someone else mentioned that earlier. I have not used After Effects. I've used a little bit of Adobe Flash, so that's more what I think of. But yeah, if you want a cutscene system, sequences are most likely the way to go. I've kind of sort of made my own thing for cutscene animations, which I'll show right now. This is the other half of what I'm working on. So I probably am not going to have too much use for sequences, but going forward, I think they're going to change the way a lot of people use GameMaker for like cutscenes and that sort of thing. Okay, this is taking forever to run. I did this back before sequences were announced, so I'm kind of set on that front. But otherwise, it's possible that thing that I made could be tied into sequences. I haven't really looked at that yet. But they're also like built into GameMaker, so there's probably a lot of stuff that's ready to go out of the box without having to deal with all that. Anyway, what was I was cleaning up the array functions. Do I need... Alright, so I can do that. Okay. There are, what, like 30 of these? Standalone animations. Someone mentioned doing, like, mid 2000s decade, like, Flash animations movies using GameMaker with sequences now. Because that's kind of a realistic possibility now. You just make something in the sequence editor. You have it run on its own, and you like export it to HTML5, put it on Newgrounds or something. So that the possibility to make like HTML5 just animations movies in GameMaker is not out of the question. It's probably not something I would do, because that's not really... Can I get rid of this, please? I can. That is not used anywhere. It's not really the sort of thing I'm into, but I could certainly see people in the GameMaker community doing that. So that's interesting. It's delete that. Using game engines for things other than games is what I was trying to fish out of my brain. Unreal Engine is obviously rather heavy duty, and that Unreal Engine does see applications for things outside of games, like interior design. I've seen people using Unreal Engine for. I believe automotive design is another one that they have used for like designing cars and that sort of thing. Stuzy, thank you. I'm glad you think so. I had fun making it. I also tore my hair out making it because it was I had to learn how like animation things worked, but it was fun to make. Pi, you wish you had HTML5 export. I've been thinking about it just for like small test projects. I haven't actually gotten it yet because money. Car, thank you. There's a couple things I could think about using the HTML5 export for though. I should probably be using the proper array accessor, shouldn't I? More consistently than I have been. Just screen record. Yeah, just post a video. Hey, I think that site YouTube is good for that or something. I wouldn't know these things. Where was I? Is it seriously time for me to drop this begin end joke? I feel like it is. I should probably do that. Alright, I don't know why that should be sufficiently negative. Negation 0 is just -1. I don't know why I decided to do that. First, whenever making applications, not games, you would use C#, but started using Gmail and the outcome has always turned out better. The only reason I'm doing this in GML instead of C# is the renderer. I want stuff to look in the, I don't know if I showed that part. I want stuff to look in the preview window the exact same as it does in GameMaker. And if I were to like shove a separate renderer into a Windows Form piece of software, it probably wouldn't look exactly the same. I guess you can embed the GameMaker window in it, but at that point, why bother? Yeah, this is all like GameMaker shaders. This is GameMaker's renderer. There are other things I have used C# for though, because it's not worth the pain of using GML for certain things. This is Unity does use C#, yes. Car, not sure if that's in reference to the thing that I was doing or in reference to the thing someone else was doing. Thank you though. If the former. If the latter, I'm just gonna look kind of awkward. I hope none of you mind just watching me update old code. Is this even how standard deviation works? I can't remember. I think it is. Oh, never mind. I was reading that wrong. Carry on. We're almost at the end here. Array AB. That is a notification from my internet browser. Someone else is talking about sequences. I don't know if you can see that. Is that showing up on OBS? I could not see if that showed up on OBS. I received a YouTube comment about sequences. Any other fun GameMaker related discussions to be had? I know some people here said they have successfully gotten into the beta. I don't know if everyone has. Does function parameter name replace using JS docs? I think so. Hang on, let me do a proper test of that in a moment. Yes, it does. That's very small at the bottom of this window. I don't know if you can see it, but the arguments are in the script just from having them named in the function definition. I wonder. I assume you can still use JSDoc the same way you could before, right? It does not say. This has not been updated, I don't think. Oh, the example has been updated though. That is a GIF example using JSDoc. That's cool. You haven't gotten it yet? You've applied for it, right? You should totally sign up for it. It's works first come first serve. So the sooner you put your name in, the sooner they'll get to you. Let's see. Okay, so that's annoying. It seems like if you use the argument array, the arguments will not be automatically named in the script definition. It seems. Which is slightly annoying. All right, that could add a lot of code though. You're not in the beta yet either. Hopefully. I don't know how often they're I don't know how often or how many people they're letting in at a time. If I recall from the GameMaker Studio 2 beta when that first came out in fall of 2016, they seemed to move people through it pretty quickly. I'm hoping the same is true here. I don't know how many like bug reports they're having to field. I think like Ross Manthorpe or something on the forum said something to the effect that it depends on like how many things go wrong because they don't want to they don't want a like complete flood of people experiencing bugs and clogging the system and that sort of thing, but so far it doesn't seem like there are that many problems. Again, getting rid of a lot of lines of just comments. Yeah, GameMaker Studio 2 beta was almost 4 years ago now. Time flies. Why? This is a very long definition. Vertex buffer, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, normal. Is this even used anywhere? Can I just ditch this whole thing? It is used. Okay, fine. Oops. I hate enumerating arguments. This actually might be easier. Okay, there we go, I think. I think that's that's the longest one in here. That's most of it. I should probably run this now just to make sure nothing bad happened, right? You still don't know how to use a sine function. Are you familiar with the unit circle atomics? I don't know if that's something that would help everybody with the trigonometry functions, but images. Where's a good one? Here's a good one. Okay, that's actually not that good. That's an error message. Alright, go away, error message. I'm talking about the unit circle. Alright, this one looks pretty clean. That's missing. Alright, you know what? God. Alright, not what I was hoping for, but sine is essentially the height value of the circle at any given angle, and cosine is just the horizontal. I feel like once you can visualize that, the horizontal and vertical components of a circle, it becomes easier to apply to other things. Whether or not that helps, I don't really know, but hopefully. When it comes to sine and cosine. So what does this say? I probably mistyped something. Okay, that is supposed to be... How many lines of code is it down to? It is down to 42,600. Okay, we're getting there. That's about 300 lines fewer than when I started. Yeah, the cosine function is the exact same as the sine function, just offset by quarter revolution. All right, so this runs. I should probably git commit some of this. It's also 100 lines of regular buffer code. Is this used anywhere? Do I have to? Can I just kill it? I can just kill this one. I don't need that. These I know I use. It's really helpful when my past self had the foresight to name the arguments, because it means I can just keep those. And I don't actually have to change any names of anything. Alright, you know what? I do want to get rid of this. I believe this is used in... This isn't even used anywhere. Okay, I can definitely get rid of that. That is a very old piece of code. Hello, Ministar. Same thing. Is this used anywhere? Yes, it is. I know where that is used. Okay. Clean code. Clean code is excellent. I'll just run that. I'll run that every time I clean up a file of code. Just so that... Just in case something goes wrong. I'd rather deal with it as it comes up rather than all at once at the end, because that's always a little bit exhausting. Today, there we go. All right, so it loads, which is all I care about, because all of those functions are relevant in game load. Map and script. Time on the video and my computer were the same, and you thought you got super lucky and then realized it was a stream. Yeah, I've done that when I've watched other people stream. It's a bit of a weird realization sometimes. That does mean that we're in the same time zone, though. For whatever that's worth. Converting a DS map to a list, not the most useful function maybe, but nice to have on occasion. Is that used anywhere? That is used in exactly one place. When it comes to... Okay, that's basically JavaScript's like object keys. This is redundant. I can get rid of that. I feel like I also don't need this spaced out as much as it was. 8 p.m. You are in, I guess, UK time. I believe I am 5 hours behind UK time. GMT plus 0. Does that... I assume that time zone has a name. I just don't know. GMT is like a general term, isn't it? I think. The begin end stuff hurts my eyes. I did that as a joke like 6 months ago, and I'm starting to get tired of it, especially because of all these new curly braces that have been added due to functions, and I'm probably going to start migrating it back at some point, because I think it stopped being funny. Pa, you live in Texas? I feel like I should remember that. Make a script to start the battle when you hit a block. I mean, if that's how your game is going to work. That is more of a design decision than a technology one. I really wish you could iterate over data structures that aren't lists in GameMaker. That would certainly remove the need to just clone them like this. which is a bit annoying. Okay. That is DS Maps and DS Priority. Is it Greenwich Mean or Greenwich Meridian? I can never remember. Oh, you mean blocks of code like these things. Okay, me smart. I would put that in a script. Like the single responsibility principle. Having one section of code do one job and not more than one. And like do not repeat yourself, don't repeat yourself, DRY, a couple other coding principles, practices. Unless you know that it's only ever going to, that piece of code is only ever going to be run from the block of code, whatever it is in question, I would separate it. I'm almost running out of water. I am going to need to go refill that at some point. Okay, so everything runs. I'm just gonna run around, talk to some people. I've been given a stabby sword and a stovepipe hat. Everything appears to be in order. You do mean a block you hit in game. Now I'm confused. Alright, this I don't need. That's not being called from anywhere. I probably got rid of it a long time ago. Shut up, phone. DS lists. Was I really this lazy that I wanted to just write one line of code instead of like 3 or whatever? Apparently. Pretty sure this one is used. Yeah, that's used in a couple places. That is for when you have a list of instances and you want to destroy the list as well as every instance in it. My character looks like Cygnus from Guncaster. I am not familiar with that one. Oh, it kind of does. I will let the person who made the sprite know that. That is not one I'm familiar with. It kind of does look like him. Yeah, that's the idea. Whenever you want to initiate a battle, you would just call battle start, or whatever you decide to call the script. Like battle initiate, whatever it happens to be. Again, don't repeat yourself. Just if you have a piece of code that's going to do the same thing in multiple parts of the program, just package it up in a script or function call or something. And we are done with lists. Did I say it again? Did I say, did I pronounce it wrong again, or did someone else mention it? Oh, Pi said it. Yeah, Pi, he likes to go by atomics. For future reference. Let's see, I can get rid of all this now, right? I think that's it. Alright, let's see if it runs. If nothing else broke it so far, I don't imagine that will have. Also, oh, okay. There was one script in there that was not necessarily a math script, but that I did not copy this stuff out of yet. Come on. Okay, fine. I can go retrieve that the long way. What is it in here? The script is going to need to get remade anyway. Oops, did not mean to delete that. Let me just make sure. I don't think, except for the deprecated function, I don't think anything in here changed. All right, well, that script is a mess for another day, but come on, GameMaker. I shouldn't complain about the amount of time it takes GameMaker to run the game, to test the game. It's actually quite fast, all things considered, but still, when you're sitting there, 15 seconds does feel like a long time. All right, so this all works. Again, data structures work. How many lines of code is this down to now? 42, okay. About 300 lines have just gone away just by deleting all these math scripts. That sounds about right. I feel like I don't know how much anyone here how familiar anyone is with Apollo, which is for using Lua in GameMaker. That's another one with a lot of small scripts that are just a couple lines long. Create classes like something that, whatever. Yeah, you would create a class, and it would have the method function name to do whatever, and when you invoke it from an instance, it would basically look like that. Yeah. Let's see. I kind of feel like starting to do stuff with actual gameplay now. What's something I could do that with gameplay wise that wouldn't involve like completely ripping out the game object system and replacing it with something else? Oh, you know what? I've been told that the array of two elements method of doing vectors is still slightly faster than using a lightweight object. All right, you know what? I'm gonna run this in debug mode and see how that's not debug mode. I will run this in debug mode and see how it performs. It looked like it was performing just fine, but I wasn't like studying the frame rate meter or anything. I'm going to just gonna have a look at the profiler. Yes, I know. It's gonna take a second to load, and let's see, where is the profiler? Profile, there we go. Oh, it's in others. So I'm going to start, and let's just run around on the overworld a bit, see what happens. Nothing should really change. I haven't changed any gameplay things except for a couple of the list-related functions. When dealing with like collisions and stuff, list-related functions will be coming into play. But let's see. That's enough of that. I don't know if that's because I was running the profiler and the profiler just automatically causes a performance hit, but this is noticeably... It could also be because I'm streaming. That might have something to do with it. There's, Alright, that could be because I'm streaming and OBS is eating up like 20% of my CPU and Chrome is eating up another 40. So it's not performing as well as it would otherwise. I will have to investigate that when I'm not doing this. Okay. Alright, I was just curious. Back to vectors though. Should that be capitalized? That's kind of... It kind of is a class name. I feel like I should capitalize that. And there would be another one for 3. And that should be all, at least for now. I'll deal with it like add functions or whatever later. Can I get rid of that? Should be able to, right? This will most likely affect gameplay. Possibly in ways that I wouldn't expect. Ooh, this created a bunch of duplicate. Static keyword in 2.3 works the same in Java. I think so. I had some problems using it earlier, which may or may not be bugs. I wrote down a couple things which may or may not be bugs for future reference to test more thoroughly on my own later. But the idea is that, yes, it will work the same. So if you wanted to say, like, You could do something like this, and vector3 dot up would return a new vector3 with like those components pointing in the up direction. That's the idea. I was messing around with using lightweight objects as like namespaces earlier, and it wasn't exactly smooth sailing, so there may still be some things to work out, but hopefully soon that will be the case. Okay. There's gonna be a lot. Well, okay, maybe that's not that much, but there are quite a few places where I will, I think, want to convert old things to vector 3s. Also, all these array length 1Ds, god. Ooh, I did not make this easy for myself. Alright, I may have to hunt for some places in my code which does a stupid job of doing vectors, like without denoting them. But that will be a problem for future me. A switch statement and the create event and it works. Yeah, you can use a switch statement anywhere. Does this return the right thing? No, it does not return the right thing. Cool. Glad I had foresight when it came to this. I feel like this might be a bit of a trend here. Commented out code. Alright, that's correct at least. And I assume... yeah. World to screen. That'll be coming up a lot, I think. Alright, that's a vector. This is a vector, right? We established that. It's nice how cleaner the code can be. When you do this. Was that the right one? Yes, that was the right one. 13 more. I'll do something gameplay related after this, I swear. After I finish cleaning up the vector types. Although that may take it may take a little while to... It may take a little while to get it working properly. Scale. Is there another one? Position? Oh, okay, never mind. There was not. That's part of the same thing. This whole thing will eventually be a lightweight object. Oops. But I'm not going to try and do it all at once because that's a recipe for disaster. All right, this I already know is a vector. Just a couple more. This is correct, right? That is correct. Somehow the creation code, it won't change any variables. Say that again? Are you using the like room creation code, instance creation code? This is another thing that I don't know if is actually used anywhere or not. Okay. Room creation code. In that case, that should be because room creation code runs after instance create. So it's probably being overwritten somewhere else. Let's see. Can I not search in shaders? I don't think this is going to work on the first try just because of the amount of places I had to update, and there's a good chance I missed something, but we'll see what happens. It's going to blow up, isn't it? Oh no. Did I actually get them all right on the first try? No, enums are compile time constants. They can't be changed. Let's see. Okay, this broke it. World to screen. Missing a capital letter. Come on. GameMaker. Okay, there we go. After this, I'll test the other game, because I haven't actually tested that yet. Although it uses almost entirely the same code as this one, so I don't think it should be any different, but it's always worth checking. It does use some let me just make sure I can get into battle here. It does use some systems that this does not. Really? Did I not literally just change that? Alright, GameMaker, you're starting to slow down. Pretty sure I just changed that. I might want to restart GameMaker. That did, wait, okay, so it's not saving that. Hold up, no, stop. It's not saving those changes. Alright, let me restart this. I suppose I'll restart both of them. It is not unheard of for GameMaker things to break and then just be fixed by a restart. That is all of a sudden very small text. Alright, what's going on with the vector 2 not saving? Okay, I have an idea. Weird. Alright, that was not the idea. I suppose it'll help if I do that, but... Are you going to save? No. Interesting. Huh. Anyway, it seems to be saved now. Wait. Oh my god. Alright, this is gonna break. Yeah, huh. Let me go into the project file manually. I have far too many scripts in here. World to screen. It's saving it to the old one. Oh, I know why that is. I've run into that problem many times. No, it's because I had the file open in another program and it was preventing it from being saved. Most likely. I forgot I had that open. I always mess that up at least like once a month too. And usually I don't notice until I try and delete it and it just fails to delete. Okay. That should do it. Let me just check again. Yeah, that did it. Okay. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, this is going to run. And... okay, the battle system is working except for depth testing. I need to figure out why it's doing that. I'm pretty sure that is not a problem with the update though. While that is... hey, did my... what happened to my duck config? Did this just eat my duck config? Oops. I'm glad they've cleaned up the config editor, though. Having that being part of the resource tree in the past was a bit awkward in places. That was not the duck config. I wanted to run that with the duck config. And in the meantime, fix the indentation here. I'm surprised it didn't complain that I was trying to give a macro definition in a config that didn't exist, but I guess it's not that sophisticated. Also, I don't know why that was in a function. That did not need to be. Okay. Alright, so this works. If I were to cast a different spell, yeah, that all works. That's quite nice, I think. Okay. No problems there. I can work off the main one for now. What else is there to do? I said I wanted to do gameplay stuff. I don't know if I deleted the config by accident or if it evaporated when the project migration happened. Anyway. I can get rid of this, right? Pretty sure. Gameplay things. The obvious thing to do is to... There's two main things that I want to create to lightweight object structs. Those being like game data, like items and whatever, and game objects. Since I've yanked control over the render loop myself. You know what? Let's try and fix the depth testing real quick. That comment is not important because I know why that is now. I'm okay. The Starfield. I feel like this is being drawn. Did they change the draw order? It's only a problem in battle. It's not a problem on the overworld. Like I said, I suspect it's a problem with depth testing. This feels not super important. I will just get rid of that. Instead of having a script that does basically nothing floating around. Is there anywhere... No, draw atmosphere doesn't happen anywhere else. That's where the Starfield would be. feel like if that was the only problem, then you'd be seeing the water and the other atmospheric stuff underneath on top of the screen as well, and screen space. But it's only the it's only the stars. This is the only place where this is drawn. That's the only current place where this is drawn. Are they just in the wrong order? YouTube comments. We'll look at later. They're not in the wrong order. Unless like the order that... No, because then it would be causing a problem on the overworld also. Besides, Z-testing was turned on. Yeah. It's definitely not causing a problem here. That is the moon and everything else being drawn as it is supposed to be. The mystery deepens. I noticed the code regions did not get indented when they got migrated over, for whatever reason. Alright, come on. So if I don't draw the atmosphere, it doesn't do that. Oh, the camera's rendering top down for whatever reason or something. That would be rather irritating. Oh no, OBS tells me that I am encoding too hard. Short Mr. Films, thanks. Glad I was able to help. Also, hello. You joined at an awkward time because I'm suddenly having issues doing that exact thing. Alright, the cameras are rendering in order. And except for the battle overlay layer being drawn, nothing changes. Or does it? It might just be a case of I need to turn the depth buffer back on, and it doesn't happen automatically anymore. which I am perfectly willing to do. Hmm. Let's see if that makes the stars appear in the actual background now. Nope. That wasn't a problem before, right? Was that a problem before? I feel like that's something I would have noticed. Phone. It's the wrong config. Yeah, it's not a problem here. Has there been a change to... All right, I don't know why this isn't pre-draw, but okay. As opposed to, for example, end step. Pretty sure I don't need any of that. Or at least it would be better. It would be better dealt with elsewhere. For example, here. It'll have fewer events floating around all over the place at any rate. Is there a full in-depth changelog to all the things that have changed in 2.3, I wonder? There probably is, right? Okay, we are underwater. That's the depth buffer. Frame rate's gotten a boost. Not what I intended. We're underwater. This merits a screenshot. Alright, not what I had in mind, but... Alright, there's no water here. I don't know if I just turned water off in the battle map, but... Default is counterclockwise, right? Yeah. So the world looks normal again. And oh yes, that's why it was no. Because the participants could be facing either direction. That is okay, wait. I don't think there are any particles drawing, but overworld still looks normal. What is different between that wasn't it? What is different between the battle map and the overworld? Is the relevant question. I finally learned how to use these multiple workspace things, and it's been great. I guess there's also this little detail. Should probably remember to include that. Nothing different here. Is this used anywhere? It is. I generally like to define that at the top. I don't know what that comment up there is for the record. What is... Okay, so there are some battle controls there, but that doesn't change anything. If I just don't draw the battle camera, I mean the battle overlay thing. Oh, debugging. So everybody's favorite stream subject is debugging. Okay, so that made the characters invisible, but it still didn't. The problem is originating from somewhere else. And aside from using a different view and projection matrix, I don't see anything different either. Up here. There's always this option. All right, it's time to break out the debugger. Step through the application surface one line of code at a time. That should be fun. All right, when I have the breakpoint off, but when I actually get into battle, I will turn it back on, and we can go from there. Is it actually running? Hello? It is now refusing to run in debug mode. I feel like that's a bit of a major issue. Let's see if it does it again. It's still running in regular mode. All right, well, I don't know why it failed the first time either. Setup suddenly took 11 seconds, up from 6. Not sure why. The breakpoints. Okay. The call stack is what I think it is. I would like to look at the surfaces. Which one is the application surface? That's this one. I think. So the stars are drawn. And then we go into it and draw. Oh crap, I didn't mean to skip over that one. All right, fine. We'll go through it again. Empty surface. Stars are drawn. Presumably the moon would be drawn, but it's not in view anywhere. Or maybe I just didn't pause it at the right time. Nope, it's not in view. All right, let's actually step into the function this time. Reflections. Why are reflections enabled in this map? They don't need to be. Step out, over. All right, this should be the game world, which is the one that's should be starting to get interesting. Reflections, game world. Set the matrices. And nothing should have changed. Nope. And let's find the lighting. Okay. This is where stuff actually gets drawn. Yeah, a lot of stuff actually, in fact. And that's gonna loop around a few thousand times, I think. Is the problem that wait a minute. Is the problem that that's off? I'm gonna feel silly now. Is it like, is it off for, is it on for the atmosphere and off for the other stuff in the world? World looks good, and up there there's sky and reflections. And okay. Except for the part where I'm breaking out of drawing the people, the battle people. Here. Interesting. I'm not sure why that wasn't causing a problem before. It's just one of those situations where you don't know why something stops working, and then once you figure it out, you don't know why it was working in the first place. Which happens more often than I'd really like. Okay. I'm probably going to finish streaming soon because I have been doing this for 3 hours today, 4 if you count this morning, 4.5, and that looks good. And as you can probably tell, I'm getting slightly tired of talking. I do want to do this again soon, though. If anybody is still here in chat, let me know what you think. What you want me to work on later. Let's publish that branch. That's going to be sending a lot of data off to GitHub. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 commits, and a number of them were quite large. Yeah, Steven, thank you for coming. This was a lot more productive than I expected it to be. That was a definitely interesting experience. I do want to do this again. This has been fun. Talking to people about the update and stuff. And just game dev in general. Where was I going with this? I don't know. I will see you all later, I'm sure. I will probably do this again tomorrow. Tomorrow being Saturday. Hopefully people are around. Thanks for coming.